welcome to your next social distancing Pilates session. We'll just get straight into it today. We're going to be standing on the end of our mat. So you've got plenty of space in front of you. We're going to take a second to just line up our feet. So you want both sides of the ball of your foot and the heel of your foot all pressed evenly into the mat in the shape of a triangle. You want your middle toe, not your big toe, pointing straight forward. So the outside edges of your feet will be long and the inside will have a little angle to them. You want to make sure that your knees are stacked on your ankles, your hips on your knees, and then head is over shoulders, ribs are over hips. Just take a second to breathe, loosen up a little, maybe roll your neck around, shrug your shoulders, and take a few big, deep breaths in and out. Trying to use the full capacity of our lungs here. On your next breath in, I want you to bring the arms up. And then as you breathe out, arms come down, we tilt the head, chin rolls forward, then your shoulders, ribs, mid-back, lower back, and find that your pelvis rolls over your legs. Breathe in at the bottom. Breathe out. Tuck the pelvis first, so tail between your legs. And then press your spine back up to standing. Breathe in. Reach tall with the arms. Breathe out. Roll down. Pick up the pace a little bit. Breathe in at the bottom. Bending your knees if you need to. And then as you stand, imagining your spine is pressing back straight against a wall. Breathe in. Breathe out. This is our last one of these. And then we'll add on. In. As you let the air out, use your abdominals to initiate the movement. Good. Big breath in. We roll down once more, and when we get there, place the hands on the floor, so bend the knees if you need to, and walk out. On your hands into a plank or a support. Walk yourself back in again. Roll up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Roll down. And we walk out. Doing it with straight legs if you can. But if you're a little stiff, you've just woken up, or maybe you've got short hamstrings, then you'll need to bend just a little bit to get you there. You're going to stay in this plank for a second. Take the feet, jump them forward, or step forward if you need to, and sit. Moving into the middle of your back so you can roll down. Making sure we're nice and neutral on the mat now. So our feet are in line with the bottom of our pelvis, our sitting bones. Knees are in line. We've got that little bit of light between the mat and our back, and the mat and our neck. So our ribs, shoulders, head, and pelvis are down. From here we're going into our chest lift. We breathe out to lean forward, hands reach in to hold, out to come down. Reach the hands toward the heels, keeping the light between the back and the mat, and down. If you want to make it a little harder, hands go behind the head, and we cradle the head right where it meets the neck, so that you're not kind of cranking your head right forward. You want to create length in the back of the neck. If you want to make it a little harder again, the feet come up, glute knees together, and down. Breathe out to come up, in to hold. Out to come down. Out to come up. Into hold. Out to come down. Last one. Breathe out. Come on up. A little bit further. And come down. Next exercise can be done in 3 different ways as well. We'll start with the first option. Keeping everything on the mat still, you just lift one leg up to tabletop so the shin is parallel to the ceiling, and pop it back down. Watching not to transfer your weight too much. Do the next one. Pick up heel, toe, keeping everything still. So we're stabilizing with our abdominals while we pick that foot up. Only really the hip joint is moving. Everything else stays. If you want to make it a little harder, you bring the feet up to start, and you lower one at a time. Again, if you want to add a level of challenge to that, we come back into the chest lift we were in,
and lift and lower while we look forward between our thighs. Good. Really using those lower abdominals to initiate the movement and also to keep your belly flat here. Beautiful. Feet can come down, head can come down, hands together. We curl up. And then we're just going to rotate here. Keeping the pelvis steady on the floor. Using the upper body. You want to make it harder again. Hands behind the head. Breathe out each time you twist. Another level, feet come up, glute the knees. Using the sides of our waist to pull us over and trying to keep the height through the middle. 3, 2, 1, and done. Leaving the knees up, and if they weren't up yet, bring them there. Arms are out to a T position or slightly down from the shoulders. Legs have to be firmly drawn together. If you need to grab a mat, a cushion or something to hang on to, that does help if your petite and your knees don't touch. You're going to breathe in to roll toward me and out to use the waist to kind of draw you back to center. In to tilt the other way, opposite shoulder stays down. Out to draw back over. So our obliques are really kicking in here. Upper body stays still and hopefully relaxed while lower body moves. Breathe in to tilt. You'll notice that the hip needs to lift up. If the knees are to stay together, out to return. Make it harder. Straighten a leg as you go out and bring it back in. We're adding a little extra weight on here. And make it harder again. Leave the legs straight all the way. Breathe in. Out. Switch. In. Out. Switch. Beautiful. Last one to this side. Trade them over. Last one to this side. Come back to center. Pop the feet down on the mat. We're going to do our leg circles. So one leg is flat to the mat. One leg is pointing toward the roof. You may or may not have the flexibility to get all the way there while your pelvis stays grounded. So you're just going to leave the big flat part of it down. If you need to bend the bottom knee a little bit to create some space, you can do that. We breathe in as the foot comes across the body and down and out as it goes away from the body and up. In and down, out and up. In and down, out and up. Good. If your knee started facing the roof, you want it facing the roof again. If your knee started on a diagonal, so if your leg was turned out, you want to leave it in that position for the whole circle. We go the other way. In to go out and down, out to come across and up. Good. And we're trying to keep our whole body stable here, apart from the leg that's moving. You'll notice that I point my toes. You don't necessarily need to. This is just a habit of mine. If you're better off with a relaxed foot, you do that. But doing everything we can to keep the rest of the body stable. And we trade legs. Come across the body first. Out and around. Good. In and down. Out and up. You might have one good leg and one bad leg. I struggle to stabilize this side a little more. So you might see a tiny bit of wobbling. If you feel like you can't control that wobble, draw smaller circles. They can be tiny little dinner plate or entree plate sized, whatever works to keep you still. Back the other way now. Out and down, in and up. You can look down at your hips to see how much you're moving. Beautiful. Last two. Last one. Leg comes down. Slide the heels in. Roll ourselves up. Sitting right on the bottom of our pelvis here, so the pokey sitting bones that you normally would be on if you were on a chair. Back is up nice and straight. Arms are out in front of us. If you need a hand, you can pop them behind your knees to start with. We breathe in to grow tall. Breathe out to roll back. Tilt off your pelvis. You'll feel your tailbone hit the ground. Continue to curve your spine as you roll. Find a point where it gets a little tough to hold it. Breathe in there. Breathe out. Lead with your head as you curl forward in that C shape, and then breathe in to sit back tall. Breathe out. Roll off your sitting bones onto the tailbone. Roll, roll, roll till you find that tough spot. Breathe in here. And make sure your abs are still drawing in towards your spine and your feet are flat. Breathe out and roll up. One more of these. So if you were modifying, it'd look like this. You're allowed to use your hands a little bit to help you. And then you'll be able to pull yourself back up. Now we add on. We roll back to our challenge point. So feet are still flat. Abdominals are drawing in, especially between these two hip bones at the front. And then we're just going to breathe to open and tap, closed. Open and tap, closed. So my hips are going to stay stable and facing the front as I turn and tap using my obliques. And it's not just my arm moving, it's my whole upper body. My ribs are twisting here. Good. 2. Keep that belly drawn in. 1. Roll back up. Take a breath. Grow tall. We're going to the other side. Roll back. Find your challenge point. Low as you can with the feet down and the abs in. And return for 1, 2, 3. We're going for 8, 4, 5. Make sure you're still breathing. 6, 7. Last one. Hold, hold, hold. Shoulders away from your head. And then roll on up. Give yourself a little bit of room to straighten the legs out in front of you. Draw them together. And we tilt the pelvis under as we roll all the way to the floor. Keeping the legs, the ribs tucked in at the front. We breathe in. Out to roll. Reach right over. Breathe in here, creating space in the back of your body, and then roll back again. It helps to push your heels into the floor and bring your knees together. Breathe in, look forward, breathe out, and we roll. Trying to do it with as little momentum as possible. Breathe here. So we don't want to throw our bodies forward. We're not hinging at the hip. We're actually curling that whole spine. Slow as we can. Over. Breathe in here. And we'll breathe out to roll down. Just gonna wiggle forward on my mat because I've moved. And we're going straight into our abs series. Both hands on one shin and knee. Other leg stretches away on a 45. We're in our chest lift. And we breathe. Breathe out to push the leg away. Keeping the back of the neck long again. So we're not crunching our chin in. My teacher used to say, you want to pretend that you're holding a peach. So if you lean back, you'll drop it. But if you crunch too hard down, you'll squish it. So hold gently onto that peach. Knees tuck in. You've got options here. Either we can circle the arms around while we keep ourselves in the chest lift, or we can extend the legs and return them. Extend and return. There's a third level as well. If you want to do the whole thing, arms and legs, return. Shoot them both out. Circle the arms, draw the legs in. Good. 2 and 1. One leg up, one leg down, and we breathe to trade. Again, pointed toes is just my habit. There you go, you can relax the feet off, they don't need to be pointed. I find it a little easier to hold. You can go behind the thigh, behind the knee, behind the calf, wherever you can. Give yourself a little stretch. 3, 2, 1. Bend both knees, so we're in our tabletop. Cradle the back of the neck again. And from here, we lower both legs down for a tap and return. Tap and return. all the time, my lower back is hovering slightly above the floor, tiny bit, maybe a centimetre. If that's too hard, the head can go down, the arms can come down, and you can hold. If it's still too hard, you can just lower one leg at a time like we did in the warm-up. Then you can bring your head back up. Whatever works for you. Belly button is in towards our spine to hollow the front of the belly. 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees into your chest and give yourself a little roll. So pick the tailbone up, pop it back down. Just kind of massage out the back. Let your abdominals have a rest. Legs go long again. Arms come overhead. We roll ourselves up. Kind of cheated a little bit there. And sit right tall on those sitting bones again. Feet are about mat width apart if you're on a towel, about that distance. If you don't have a marker, just slightly wider than hip width. We bring our arms out in front of us. Bend the knees if you need to get a straight back, or sit on a cushion or a stack of books. We breathe in, breathe out, roll forward, and again, peeling your spine away from an imaginary wall behind you. Reaching forward, breathe in, breathe out, roll back up. So we're stretching out our spine here. Breathe in, grow tall against that imaginary wall. Breathe out, peel away from it one vertebra at a time. Staying on your sitting bones. Breathing in here, breathing out to come back. And same principle as before, we're not just hinging at the hips, we're actually curling our whole spine forward. Shoulders are relaxed and away from our ears. Good. If you need to put your hands down, you may. And then just slide them towards your ankles. Breathe in, breathe out. Roll up. One more. Grow tall. Lean forward. Big breath in. Expand your back. Breathe out. Sit up. Feet slide together. Hands come out to a T. And we breathe out to twist. Into return. Out to twist. Into turn. Out to twist. Into turn. Your back is straight. Your hips face forward. And they don't move. You'll know that they're moving if your feet slide apart. But if you can keep your knees and your ankles next to each other, I feel like there's a magnet drawing them together. So use your inner thighs to hold them there. Then the hips are still. Last one to this side. Feet come back out to the position they were in. Breathe in to turn. Out to dive down and reach toward your pinky toe with your pinky finger. Sit up, turn. Breathe in, breathe out to lean. Pinkies draw away from each other. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out, reach in opposition. In, out. You'll see that my arm rotates internally. So reach for the roof. And turn one more to each side. If you've got a bad back, watch out for these ones. Should have said that earlier. Never do anything that doesn't feel right for you. So even if I'm suggesting that you do something, I'm not there with you personally. If it doesn't feel right, just rest and wait it out. From here, I'm going to scoot back forward a little bit on the mat, roll down, lift my legs into tabletop, bring my arms up. We're going to lower one leg out to a 45 and back in. Alternate to the other leg out and in. Good. Keeping the core nice and still. So we really need to stabilize through all of our core muscles. We're in our neutral. So the back of our neck and the back of our lumbar are slightly lifted. Everything else is pressing firmly down. Leaving the legs where they are. Just bringing the arms overhead and back. And this is where we want to watch out for our rib flare. So you don't want to arch it up. Back of the ribs are pressed down the whole time. Front of the ribs feel like they're kind of connected to your pelvis. Beautiful. And now we join the two. My right arm and left leg are going to go out straight and then draw back in while everything else holds You may have done these before. Call them dead bugs. Out and in. Keep alternating. Keep drawing those inner abdominals in and down, so I'm flat across the front of my hips. I don't have that little pot that we sometimes have when only our top layer of abdominals are working. They protrude out. Good. From here, have a quick rest. Now we're going to do the same movement, but out on a diagonal. So my right arm, left leg go out, feel like a little starfish, and come back in. Out, and come in. It's a little harder now that they're further away from the midline of my body, and I have to work not to twist anywhere, but to hold. Good. Feel some joints popping. Last one. Feet come down. Hands come down. Making sure your heels are far enough under your knees because we're about to use them to press up, and we're still in good alignment. So hip width, the small hip bones at the front apart. Heels are pressed firmly in. Hands are pressed firmly down. I can feel my triceps getting ready to support me. I breathe out to press up. In to come down. Out to press up. If you need to adjust the feet now, you can. Out to come down. I'm going to move my back a little. Out to come up. In and down. Beautiful. So we're really firing up the back of the legs here. Using your hamstrings and your glutes to lift you. Head, neck, shoulders are relaxed. Good. We're still breathing. Making sure our knees don't flare out at the top, but they stay drawn in. So our inner thighs are doing a little bit of work here as well to keep us lined up nicely. Good. Last one. Now you have two options on the next one. First option, which is slightly easier, is just to lift the heels, alternating on each foot without letting the hips drop or move at all. The next option is to really push through your supporting leg, draw that leg into the hip socket, and then lift the other one up and march. Alternate. If you've started doing these and you don't like how it feels in your lower back, you may need to go back to the heel lifts while you get used to being able to support the full weight of your body with the one leg. If you've got a bad back, I recommend giving this one a miss for a while until it's strong enough to hold you up. Really using our legs here. We don't want to feel it in the lumbar. So abdominals are drawing in as well. Last two. Last one. And then we're going to roll down. So one bit of the spine at a time touches the mat. Should feel really nice. Take a minute to massage your lower back out. So we're going to tilt the pelvis and bring it back. It's called an imprint here, where we press the lumbar into the mat and bring it back up. So we imprint the spine to the mat, rock back to neutral. It's getting a little massage. And we roll all the way up, so we imprint and then we roll. From here, picking up the knee, extending the toe, we lower toward the floor and back up. You're going to look either straight up, or if you need to keep an eye on those hips staying level, you do. I don't want your hips to drop for your leg to be able to come down. So if it only goes toward the floor and doesn't actually touch the floor, that's better. Reach, return, bend the knee, place the foot down. We'll go straight into the other leg, pick the knee up, point the toe, place down, and up, down, and up. Lower back shouldn't be feeling pain here, so if you're getting tight, give it a rest. Really drive through that opposite foot. One more. Good. Knee bends, foot comes down, roll it back. Pick the knees up, hug them in, And again, just give yourself a little massage here. Beautiful. Legs come long and we roll onto a side. I like to line up with the back of my mat to make sure I'm even. We've got the head supported in a hand today, shoulder in line with hip, and then hips, knees, ankles, but the feet are slightly out in front of us. The hips are stacked right on top of one another, and there's a little bit of lift underneath the waist. We pick the top foot up, we flex to bring it forward, point to bring it back. Flex forward, point back. You're only going to come as far forward as your hamstring allows you to. So if you're tight, you might not get all the way forward. You don't want your pelvis to be tilting, so you don't want it to tuck under and fling forward. You want to hold it stable as you press and kick, press and kick. It's a tough one to hold. You can lay the head down if you need to. And if you're really finding it hard to stabilize and that bottom leg pressing into the ground isn't helping, you can bend it a little. Next one is our side leg lift. So keeping lift through the waist, we're just raising and lowering the leg. Raise and lower. The top leg can turn out if it needs to. So my knee is facing, not quite the ceiling, but diagonally. We lift and lower. I'm not crunching down in my waist. I can still feel that lift. Last one here. We bring that leg forward. Bend the bottom knee. You're just gonna lower and lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back in. Straighten the legs. Lay the head down. Making sure we're stacked again and our hip is pointing straight up to the roof. We breathe out to reach the legs away from us and hover them off the floor. In to bring them down. Out to hover. In to return. So my obliques are picking me up here. In to return. The top of your body might want to lift as well. It might want to fight to join in. Try your best to keep it relaxed. Breathe out. Breathe in. Head on your arms. You can put a cushion between your head and your bicep if you need to. Last one here. And down. We're going to switch sides. I will spin. You may just roll over if you like. So starting again. Head on hand. Hips and shoulders aligned. Hips, knees, ankles aligned. Top foot comes up. Press down with the bottom as we flex forward, point back. Flex forward, point back. And the leg actually has roughly 15 degrees of extension behind us. So it means it only goes slightly behind you before your back has to kick in and arch to help the leg go back. So don't expect it to point right behind you. It's only a little bit back. Good, flex forward, point back, flex forward, point back, bring those legs back together, and then lift, lower, lift, lower. Head can come down if you like, and lower, lift, and lower. Sometimes if your hip bones are a bit pointy, it can be uncomfortable underneath. If you need to pop a towel or something underneath, you can always pause me, go get one and come back. Lift, lower. We only go as high as we can without crunching that waist. Last one. Beautiful. From there, we bring it forward, bend the bottom knee, and we drop and bring it up. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs back together. Head definitely comes down now. Hand can either be flat, fingertips, or up, depending on how strong you're feeling today. We breathe out to lift, into lower, out to lift, and into lower, using those obliques, making sure your neck's relaxed. Getting that air in. Good, 3 more for me. Last one. Beautiful. And we roll onto our front. From here, head's going to be down. I like to tuck my chin under so the back of my neck is long. Head is flat to the mat. Arms are out in our stop sign position or our cactus. Elbows are straight out and then bent so our hands come forward. We're just going to lift the palms off the floor without bending at the wrists. So these are your rotator cuffs, these little muscles here, our postural muscles. Good. Just waking them up. You can lift both at once or you can alternate. Up to you. Last two. Last one. And then slide around, palms face up. We breathe in to hover our face off the mat and out to bring it down. In to hover, just the face. Out to bring it down. Just getting ready to lift our upper back off the mat. So our pubic bone, which is the pointy bone at the front of the pelvis, is pressed down and our abdominals are hollowing out so our belly button's coming towards our spine. On our next one, we breathe in. Look to the front of the mat, lift head, neck, shoulders, hands, reach back. Breathe out and come down. Breathe in and lift. This should be the upper back working, not the lower back. And down. Really have those abs on. Breathe in. Look to the front edge of your mat. Nice smooth line in the back. And come down. One more. We're going to hold here. I want your hands to come back to this position where they're by your shoulders. You're going to reach forward, around till the pinkies tap, and then bend. Forward, round till our pinkies tap, bend the hands. Shoot them forward, bring them around, and bend. Pubic bone pressing down, abs on, looking forward. Bend one more. Around, in, have a quick rest. We've got one more here. So in our nice alignment, everything is on. Lift up, hands come forward. And then I want you to pull one back like a bow and arrow. Try and get that elbow in by your side and reach forward. So you will get a tiny bit of a bend through the side of the body. Try and keep your feet pressed down if you can. One more in each hand. Lower down, hands slide in, and we push back into our resting position. Try to get your butt right on your heels and lean forward with the hands. Knees can be together, or if you like, they can be apart. You can sit down and really have a stretch and breathe here. It's a nice spot to try and get some air into the back of your body. Let your shoulder blades separate. Feel your ribs stretching out. Good. And we rock forward. We're getting there. So, I'm going to have you tuck your toes underneath. Hands are under our shoulders, shoulder width apart. Shoulder blades are nicely positioned on our back, so we're not just resting on our bones, we're not forcing around, but everything's smoothly in position. We step a foot back, the other one to join it. About hip width. From there, you're just gonna hover the knees and stretch. Hover the knees and stretch. Arms aren't really doing anything, we're just bending and extending at the knees. If you want to add to it, you can try and hover back and push forward so that the elbows lower towards the floor and then launches back. Just a fair bit of work happening here. If you don't want to do that, you can keep going with the knee bend, or you can just hold. 2 more. Last one. From here, my one hand is going to come into the center, and I should just be able to roll nicely into a side plank. gonna reach over and come back. Reach over and come back. 3, 4, 5. I rotate again. Move my hands so that the other one comes right under where that shoulder will be. And I roll. Making sure I'm in my nice strong side plank. Pushing the floor away. I reach over. Come back. 2, 3, 4. Last one. Roll back. And from there, I'm just going to push myself into a pike. Now I don't have the flexibility in the back of my body yet to keep my legs straight and push my heels down. But if you do, your legs can look more like that while your upper body also looks like this. So what we want more so than straight legs and flat heels is a long, strong torso. We're active through those shoulders. Let's rock forward and come back. Rock forward, come back. A few more here. Hold. Hold. Forward. Back into your pike. Pedal out your feet a little bit. And then walk. Feet in, hands in, roll up. We've made it almost to the end. I'm going to step back in the hopes that you can actually see my head here. A little bit of a standing balance challenge and then we'll cool off. So, weight on one foot, hands linked together, and our head presses back. We lift the toes off the ground on this foot, and we're just going to tap. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch foot. And again. Count from 10. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Come to standing. Pop one foot in front, one foot behind, and we're just going to push that hip forward using the glute at the back to try and get some length in the hip flexor. Hand up and over if we want to lean, stretch a little more. Rock back. Bend the back leg now, straighten the front leg. Making sure the hips are both facing straight forward, so if you need to slide the heel back on the straight leg, you do. Some of you might be laying flat on your leg enjoying this stretch. Some of you might be all the way up there, whatever works for you. We switch. If you keep doing these, hopefully each time you're a little bit looser and a little bit stronger. Arm comes up, we lean over. Good. Rock back, make sure those hips are facing straight forward. Lean in towards the ankle, flex the foot up. You can feel it in the calf as well. Beautiful, step those feet wide. Hand down, we're just going to reach open. Open. One more each side. Twist out the back. Step the feet back in. And roll it up. Big breath in at the top. Big breath out as we roll down. Nod your head a little. Shake your head a little. Let the arms hang and then roll up. Pull the shoulders back. And we are done. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. I'll see you next time.